All right, first things first, I'm in 100 km/h speed zone, so we'll try out the 0 to 100. Got the V-Box up on the sunroof there. Got about 88% battery, full throttle. Let's see how we go. What happened to Nissan, man? Like 200SX, Datsun 1600, Skyline, GTR. Now this is called the Ariya. It's a new mid-size electric SUV. It's a little bit late to Australia. It launched overseas, like in Japan in 2021, so it's kind of already 4 years old or 5 years old if you add up the development and all of that. You can get it in 4 different trim levels, including a 63 kilowatt-hour battery level, which is for the 2 entry models, and an 87 kilowatt-hour battery level for the 2 top variants. This is the absolute top spec Evolve. It's twin motor, it's the only twin motor, 320 kilowatts, 600 newton meters, quite powerful, but the rest of them are, the 2 entry versions are 160 kilowatts, and then the Advanced Plus, which is second from the top, is 178 kilowatts because it's got the bigger same battery as this. I know that all sounds a little bit confusing, but the main thing is all the figures don't really stack up that well against the current competition. Like Tesla Model Y offers something with more range, more power, and quicker, and I think more space inside for similar or less money. And I think that's where Nissan is going to struggle with this a little bit. What it does offer though is a 10-year warranty, and I think that's going to be the main attraction to this vehicle if you're after a mid-sized fully electric SUV. Because 10 years warranty, think about that, you can have it for 10 years, 300,000 kilometer cap, and not have to worry about any major components failing or anything like that in terms of paying for repair. The battery is also covered for 8 years, the battery range, so there's a little indicator inside. You're at about 12 bars. If it drops below 9, you're covered by warranty within 160,000 kilometers. The design does look, pretty smart and futuristic, especially in this trim level with this color. I actually quite like this bronzy color. Got nice big 20-inch wheels as well, wrapped in Dunlop Sport Max tires. They pair nicely with the contrast black elements, the roof and the skirting and the wheel arch flares, but it doesn't stand out all that much compared with the competition. Most of the competition does look quite futuristic as well. This is a bit sharper and a bit edgier, whereas I think the current trends are a bit softer. Like to look at the latest Model Y, it's gone for more of a softer, rounder form, and Tesla's always kind of been like that anyway, but even some of the BYD models, they've gone back to more curves, which has got lots of sharp edges. Now inside, it's kind of a little bit old, but it does have some futuristic elements. You've got this unique bendy screen here with the touchscreen areas closer to the driver, so you don't have to reach as far. And you've got this wood trimming, which blends seamlessly with these climate controls. It's actually quite unique and, yeah, interesting, but it doesn't look all that modern in my opinion. You've got some other buttons down there as well that are blended in. Now this has got the floating console, so you can actually move this whole console, but it's a big bulky unit and you've got this little tray underneath. Like it feels like, or it seems like there should be more space available. Then down here we've got a little spot for your phone, some charging options, and then you've got these glove boxes or twin glove boxes that poke out. But there's not actually that much storage there. Most of the storage is on the lid. And if you have a look back there, it's not actually that big. So you just got to lift whatever you put on there and it just stays on the lid. And you've got another glove box here, which again, it looks like it's quite spacious, but it just holds the user manual and that's it. And then down below, you've got a completely flat floor, which does help with the perception of space, but, and I know this is probably unlikely to happen, but if you've got a handbag there with an apple in it and it rolls over, the apple rolls out under the brake pedal, that could cause some problems. Now, yeah, obviously that's pretty unlikely, but mainly I think that's just a waste of space because it's not like there's a seat here where, legs have to go. That's just, nobody's going to use that space. I would rather have a console or some sort of trough there to hold belongings, because other than that, there's not actually that much storage. And in the back, we've got a completely flat floor again, and middle seat legroom depends on where that console is positioned, so you can slide that forward, remember, to make some clearance. But I don't think this is, hugely spacious compared with a lot of the rivals. My head is getting close to the ceiling. This does have the sunroof, which does, drop down a little bit, or cause the ceiling to drop down a little bit. But yeah, I wouldn't say this is the most spacious in its class. It's just adequate. The width, I guess, is the main sort of bit that falls down a little bit. The legroom is quite good though. I do like most of the materials used throughout. This has got a kind of dark blue leather trim, and even this padded section for the seatbelt so it doesn't smack into the plastic B-pillar like in almost all vehicles. And yeah, you've got a slightly reclined seat so you can sit back and relax. And up at the back, the boot is not actually that spacious compared with what else you can get for this sort of money in this class. Mainly the tailgate, it drops down like a coupe, so it gives you that sporty profile, but it means it will be difficult to get big bulky items in here because the tailgate's going to, it's going to run into the tailgate. And it doesn't even have underfloor storage here. You've got some speakers there and speaker equipment, even in the front section. You do have some pockets on the sides, and there's no front boot under the bonnet. They've made the bonnet really short to maximize cabin space, but that means, yeah, that you can't fit anything else under the front bonnet there. So for this video, I'm just at the launch event. We're going to have a quick preview of this, take it for a drive and see what it's like. I've got one of these booked in. We'll do the full performance test. I'll try and do a 0 to 100. I've got the V-Box and everything, so we can try it out. But this top spec model is pretty quick, 5.6 seconds claimed 0 to 100. Again, if you look at some rivals like the Tesla Model Y and so on, they're often quicker. Electric vehicles are usually quite quick anyway. So if you want to stand out, you need to be, exceptionally quick. And this isn't. It's just average, but it is quick compared with any petrol SUV of this class or this size. All right, first things first, I'm in 100 km/h speed zone, so we'll try out the 0 to 100. Got the V-Box up on the sunroof there. Got about 88% battery, full throttle. Let's see how we go. That's 100. That looks like it's done 5.5, so fractionally under Nissan's claim of 5.6. So that's obviously not hanging about, but as I said, there are quicker packages out there in this class for similar or less money, if that's important to you. I don't think, you don't need to go 0 to 100 any quicker than 5.5 seconds. That is definitely very quick. It's punchy, it's responsive like an electric vehicle, although it doesn't seem to be as responsive as some electric cars that have immediate off-the-mark punch. This seems to be calibrated in a way that makes it feel more natural. It's got progressive acceleration, so off the mark it doesn't completely leap, but once you're rolling and you put your foot down, then it gives you that real kick in the back. So it's I think it's just going to appeal to those who like the driving style of a combustion engine. So you feed the throttle in and it's just gently building up the speed. It's not until you push your foot right down that it fully gets up and goes. Now in terms of the ride and handling, I think this top spec model is a little bit too stiff for this style of vehicle. I mean, it does feel sporty. I like the steering, it's got a bit of weight to it. But yeah, over jittery country roads, it's just a little bit sharp and jolty. By the way, a bit of side trivia, this is the same road featured in the Holden Tirana ad with Peter Brock behind the wheel. So I think he comes up around this corner here.
Watch Peter Brock demonstrate Tirana's improved handling, paced by our Tirana hatchback camera car.
Now, all Tiranas are equipped with radial tune suspension, and that means the car goes right where you point it. Watch me straighten this corner. Radial tune suspension gives you positive handling and on-the-road accuracy.
Road test a radial tune Tirana at your Holden dealers now.
The handling is really magic.
Thanks to Nathan Ponchard for pointing that out. We're having a chat earlier on. But yeah, it does handle okay. It's relatively flat, I guess, in terms of body roll and all that sort of thing. It feels sporty. I think the steering is probably the best part of it, and obviously the powertrain's got plenty of punch. But yeah, it doesn't stand out, and that's where I think Nissan will struggle. There's nothing really wrong with this vehicle. It's just that against the competition right now, they've got better specs, more power, more space, or cheaper, or all of the above. I think it's just going to be a little bit of a struggle for Nissan because, yeah, this doesn't have the same showroom appeal as a lot of rivals. Not just one or two, but there are a lot of rivals out there in this space now that just stack up better in terms of specs. So nothing particularly wrong with this, but it's just that there are better options out there. Even this touchscreen, like, it's cool the way it does that wavy thing, but the graphics are pretty sort of basic. They're not super sharp like they are in some rivals. Visibility is pretty good though in the front. I can see between the mirror and the pillar there, and I feel perched up. At the back is a little bit more confined due to that sloping tailgate. Fit and finish is also excellent. Like, there's no rattles or anything in here, and as I said, some of the materials are quite nice. You've got this kind of soft Alcantara suede sort of stuff on the doors, goes all the way around. You can check out more details in the written review linked in the description of this video, and as I said, we'll book one of these in and do a full performance test in the very near future.